Good morning, everyone. We're up and at it here early on Tuesday the 23rd. This is what we got yesterday. Came in the mail. We're going to go ahead and get a quick install. So I've already got started a little bit yesterday. You know, I can't wait. So I got some of this stuff laid out here. I can say one thing. I really like the way that Lowrance has done the transducer. The live scope has these things where you have to get out an Allen wrench to be able to change tightness of this, and you switch down, well, it's actually up to perspective view, and this turns. Well, what I've noticed over time is this will actually loosen up, and this screw right here will actually loosen up. I have my black box for my Garmin. Oh, as you can see, it's mounted right here, and it's actually hooked up 24 volt. By doing that, I don't run the battery that I use for my units down. The 24 volts runs on the trolling motor. The Ghost, being a brushless motor, doesn't really draw that much. I can run all day and use the live scope, and the 24 volts doesn't drop. I mean, I'm in good shape. So I'm going to be hooking the Lowrance up, the Active Target, on 24 volts also. Okay, this is our Active Target. I'm not sure what you call this, but this is where the box is. So you've got a power cable here, you've got the Ethernet cable, and you've got the sonar. But the install looks like it's going to be very simple. I mean, you've got your inline fuse, which I've got several of that comes with it, and I mean, they give you the screws. This is actually for your ground. These are actually trolling motor mounts, which I won't be using, so none of this will be in use. All right, just a little update. I've got the box mounted up in here. What I had to do, well, what I did was I set it up in there, marked one hole, pre-drilled it. Just used a little bit smaller bit here and pre-drilled it. After pre-drilling it, I mounted the unit up with one screw, held it in place, and then marked the other holes and drilled the other holes and got it mounted in there nice and neat. The cable they got for network is fairly long for my use. With all my other networking I've done, I actually had a smaller one, probably 5-6 foot, and I went ahead and hooked it up because I'm only running it up to that unit, and they're probably not 3 foot apart, so by the time it runs through the hall, that'll work out perfect. So now it's on to the next part. We're going to go ahead and take that foot tray out, get some more wires run, and we'll update you shortly. Okay, everyone, a little update here. We've already taken the foot tray out, and maybe I should have started on this other side. Okay, I've taken that foot tray out. I think I showed you the way I had this mounted earlier. I went ahead, I like using these Velcro straps. They don't put no tension against it. I've got one here, then I've taken them and put them together. Went ahead and ran everything down in there nice and neat. Got me a little foam piece to go over it to keep from pinching my wires with the plastic. I've still got to nice and neatly do something with the rest of the sonar wire. I did get the box all finished up. Can't really see that too well. Maybe that light will help out a little bit. Got it all hooked up. So what we've got to do now is we've got to take care of the wiring. Wiring, what you've got here is you've got a yellow wire, you've got a black wire, a red, and a blue. The blue wire will not be used, so they supply you with some butt connectors. I don't know why they don't supply you with connectors. I don't do anything without heat shrink. I mean, you're in the water. Every electrical connection I make, I installed all the electronics on my boat myself, and everything I do, I use a heat shrink connector, and then I also will put heat shrink over top of it. I just rather be safe than sorry. But the blue wire, I'll just put this butt connector on it, put a piece of heat shrink over it, be done with it. The red is your positive. The ground, excuse me, the ground is your negative, and yellow wire is basically it's a wake-up wire. You can actually run this yellow wire to the yellow wire on the unit, and when you turn the unit on, if you have power to your box, it'll wake up the box and the transducer will be live. But I'm not going to be using it in that fashion, because I actually have a switch right here that if this switch is not on, then I don't have 24 volts power to anything on the front of the boat. That totally is a disconnect switch from batteries. Then I also have this switch here that is a double throw, double pull, that will be, it's used anytime I use my Garmin right now. I'll turn this switch on, then that turns my transducer on. If I'm going to be done with it, I'd completely like to disconnect the power to the box. So that I'll be firing up the Garmin and the Lowrance here. So what we're going to do with the wiring, back to that before I get off on a rabbit trail, we're going to take these two, hook them together. They'll run to the 24 volts, which is switched through that switch, and then I'll run my ground in. Once we've done that, got everything heat shrinked up, then it'll be time to organize and make things look neat. I got to get back in there. I did all my wire ties and moved wires around, so I've got to get all that done, then get my foot tray back in. Okay, well, we had this install complete, had everything back together. As you can see, that's not the status right now. The transducer, we believe, is faulty. I've been on the line with tech support now, probably about 2.5 hours. My screens are dirty, but I keep getting something show up here, and there's actually a video online. If you look up Active Target Sonar Problem 2, does the same thing. I'm going to try to pull this up, show you all what I've got showing up on mine here. Let it get all the charts loaded up and it's connecting to the internet. So it's right now saying no source. That's because I just turned everything on. We have, there we go, it's just now, just so everyone knows, here on the sonar you're supposed to have a solid green. On a network, if it's working properly, you have this flashing green. On the power, you'll have a green, red. After startup, during startup, it's solid green. All that is working properly, so we believe the module is working good. But this is what we're seeing on our screen. You're not seeing the bottom at all. As you can tell with the indicator up there, when I turn the transducer, it does show that I've turned the transducer, and it does go off and on the screen like that. I turn the transducer back, it shows me turning it back, and it does that again. So another thing it's doing, if you go in and you go into your settings, if you go to your sonar and you go down to your active target installation, and here at the active target, since you restart configure wizard, and we're going to do that now. We want fresh water. See, it says that you can it's ready to use, but now all of a sudden it says configuration failed, and it wants you to make sure that the active target device is connected, and then you can restart the wizard. Well, I've done that 100 times and it still gives me this screen. All right, everyone, here we are. It's Wednesday the 24th. This is going to be the conclusion to our install. We've got it all installed. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the active target unit. As you can see, it's starting up. Go ahead and choose my active target. Currently have no source, but this will shortly change. We are in auto mode. We're going to take it out of auto mode, go to forward. That's the mode that we're in. And now, as you can see, we've got a pallet. It is working. And with everything being networked, come back here to the helm on the 12-inch. Turn it on. And we've got the same thing back here on the 12-inch. So let me tell you what we run into. Okay, my units are had the wireless turned on, and as soon as I turn the unit on, it automatically hooks up to the internet. So what it was doing was, when I turned the units on, they updated. When the update, the 20.1 update was done, it was on there already, so evidently something didn't go through properly. So I had to go on, and I tried Chrome. Chrome wouldn't work. I had to get Firefox on the computer, and then I did the download. And what we did is we disconnected the network. We went to the 9 up front, and we did a hard reset. Then after doing the hard reset, we turned it back off. I put the SD card in it with the update, turned the unit back on, it automatically updated, and it started working. Once the update was done, it started working. So I networked everything back up, turned the 12 on. Of course, the 12 wasn't working, but I was able to transfer all my waypoints up to the 9. We turned everything back off, did a hard reset on the 12, did the same thing with the 12, and now everything's back working. I didn't lose no waypoints. I've got to go in and maybe change a few settings, but that's what I had to do to get it working. Everything's working. I'm not able to get out on the lake today. Wish I was. But hopefully within the next day or so, I can get out on the lake and do a follow-up video and let you see the difference between the Garmin This is actually a 93 SV, the HDS 9 Live, and we have the Active Target, and we have the Live Sight, or Live Scope, I'm sorry. So we're going to get out there, we're going to find a brush pile I've got on a waypoint, and what we're going to do is go ahead and just look at it first with the Live Scope, then stop the sonar on the Live Scope, start the sonar on the Lowrance. I'm going to try to record this on the Lowrance and on the Garmin. I've got 32 gigabyte chips in both, and try to do some comparison videos. It's going to be looking at the same exact thing. I've got the transducer set up so they're pointing the same direction, and it'll be, you know, within a minute of each other, looking at the same exact thing. So we'll get a true comparison of what these two look like side by side. And so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to try to make a video on that and let y'all see. So till the next time, y'all take care.